Thanks for coming to Time to Value, reducing the time and cost of your health share implementation. So this is health share specific. Apologies as it didn't seem that way on the description. So my name is Leah Goddard. I am a product manager on the health share data transformations team, and I also program manage the efforts around lowering the total cost of ownership of health share. So today we are going to be talking about the Time to Value initiative and a specific byproduct of that, the HL7 V2 data profiling tool. So I'll talk about how you can use the tool to validate against HL7 schemas and HealthShare's internal data model, SDA. And hopefully by the end, you'll see how you can use the tool to improve the quality of the data that is coming into HealthShare, understand how that data is being transformed into SDA, and make that process easier so you can onboard data feeds faster. So, just to provide some background on why we decided this initiative was needed, what is time to value? So this is not going to be new to most of you, but essentially what we're measuring is how quickly you can reap the benefits of your investment into HealthShare. So after pursuing an interoperability engine specializing in healthcare data, you discover HealthShare and all the wonderful capabilities that it has. Unfortunately, the honeymoon period ends as soon as you start the implementation, right? Because once you get your hands dirty working with the data, you realize healthcare data is or can be really messy. It can be really frustrating to extract the data you want and put it where you want it. So we want to fix that, right? We don't want that dip. We want the experience with HealthShare to be as wonderful as possible from the moment you set out on the journey of implementing it. So why are we focusing on this? So beyond wanting to provide an excellent customer experience, turns out that it's really expensive to onboard data feeds. We listened to customer feedback and also conducted our own research and found implementations can cost well over $1 million if you're onboarding a decent number of feeds. And the biggest line item is data source integration. So beyond the project management piece and the setup and configuration of a HealthShare deployment, data source integration accounts for 70%, or can account for 70% on average, of implementation costs. So if we want to reduce time to value, we want to make it easier and faster to onboard those data feeds, right? We want to go for the biggest piece of the pie. And the way we've thought about doing that is, well, most data coming into HealthShare is through HL7 V2 messages. And messages following the 251 schema translate most directly into our internal data model because that data transformation was built off of the 251 schema. So we want to provide tools that, one, get those HL7 messages to follow the 251 format. Our professional services team is working on a set of out-of-the-box DTLs for that piece. And we also want to bring visibility into what that transformation looks like into SDA. And that's the piece that my team has been working on. So without further ado, the data profiling tool. Our goal in developing this tool, like I said, is to reduce the time and cost of implementation while minimizing data loss and maximizing data quality in HealthShare. So we want to help you guys understand what data is coming through a feed, which data is being mapped to SDA, which data is being transformed in SDA, right? We want you to make sure you are aware of that if in case you don't want those values to be changing. And what data is causing errors, alerts, or warnings in HealthShare so you can address those issues at the point of implementation, not once the feed goes live. So how are we planning on doing this? We want to make it as easy as possible to use the tool, to fit it as seamlessly as possible into your workflow. By automatically configuring a business operation upon installation to send messages to the tool's separate database and corresponding namespace to be analyzed and profiled. And alternatively, if you just have a bunch of flat files, you can just drop them into the tool. That works fine as well. Now, once the messages have been sent to the tool, you can focus the scope of your analysis based off of the business service or business process that's sending those messages through, the sending facility, the message type, the dates that those messages were ingested, or even a set of message IDs. You know what messages you want to look on You can narrow it down to that scope. And essentially, we're doing this so if you're onboarding multiple data feeds simultaneously, you're able to look at just the messages that you care about, right? Like you don't want to look at what your colleagues have been assigned. You're focusing on your own data feed. So you can profile and analyze the messages that you're interested in without impacting your colleagues' workflows. After you profile the messages, you can export some key statistics and key values from the tool and work with facilities offline to address any data quality issues. So at first you can export the report, see those issues, and then afterwards you can, one, make sure that those issues were addressed, and also have that serve as documentation for the data feed once it goes live. Now, most importantly, you can use the tool to validate against HL7 schemas and SDA. So when you select the messages you're interested in looking at, you can select either the 251 standard schema or a custom schema if that's part of your workflow. So for example, if you create a custom schema to account for segments being sent out of order, if it's easier to just do that rather than fix at the source. Or if you want to make certain fields required, like ORC 29 that specifies if an ORU message is a lab or radiology result, you can account for that in a custom schema, and we will validate against that schema. And so you'll be able to access our SQL tables to form very specific queries. So if you want to look at coded elements, make sure that they're complete in context with a code description and coding system, you can use that. You can use our database to find that. And you can also look for certain values for certain fields. So for example, social security number. If you want to see if values are less than or greater than a specific length, or if they contain special characters, you can hone in on that directly to address those issues. And you can also see across thousands of messages, all of the fields and all of the values within those fields that are being mapped to SDA or are being dropped from HealthShare by default. And all the places within SDA that a specific field or a specific value within that field is being mapped. And also all the errors, alerts, warnings that are generated in HealthShare by that message, by that field, or by a specific value. And at the highest level, you can see if a field is being mapped to any SDA, which paths in SDA it is being mapped to, how many errors it's generating. And you can see that in context of the number of times that field was present in the data set, the number of times it was null, the number of unique values it contains, and if it was valid or invalid or even required according to the schema. Now, once you drill down into a specific field, you can see, again, all of the unique SDA paths that that field was mapped to, all of the unique errors that it generated in HealthShare, and all of the unique values that it contained, the number of times that value was present, where that value was mapped, and again, really honing in on any errors that it generated. And of course, which messages were responsible for sending that value. So you can then see that message in context. Perhaps most excitingly, you can actually visualize the data transformation. So you can select from the list of messages that are within the profiling tool, or you can just copy and paste an HL7 message in. And you can see from that HL7 message the generated SDA. And you can see which values were saved in SDA, where in SDA it was mapped, and again, if there's any errors, alerts, or warnings that that message generated. This field is editable, so beyond just pasting a message in, you can change the values that are present there. So for example, in what I have on the screen, it's difficult to see, but ORC 29 has a typo. Lab is spelt with 2 B's. So because of that, the rest of the message was dropped from HealthShare. We didn't save any of that data. So you can see that error, you can fix it, and once you fix it, you would be able to see here it's highlighted in green. It's just to indicate what data is being saved in HealthShare. So if you were to make that change, you would then see the rest of the message being processed. So some key takeaways. The data profiling tool will help improve the quality of the data coming into HealthShare. It'll provide better visibility into SDA, since we know that's kind of all happening in the background right now. And hopefully by providing that visibility, we can speed up onboarding of HL7 feeds. So on the data quality side, we want to help you understand our values in the appropriate format and in the appropriate place, right? What data transformations are needed to make sure the right data is getting in the right place. And on the SDA side, we want to help you understand which elements are being mapped, dropped, or transformed in SDA, and which messages are causing errors, so you can remedy those issues, again, at the point of onboarding these data feeds, and you don't find it after you go live. And ultimately, we want to help you focus your time, right? Your time is precious. We want you to be able to see, like, okay, these are the issues that actually matter for my implementation. I don't care if a field is causing a bunch of errors. If I don't want that data coming into HealthShare, I'm not interested in that. So helps you focus your time on what it is you are actually interested in saving within your HealthShare Federation. So this session occurred yesterday, but in case you missed it, you should definitely watch the recording of the UCR session. They're talking, in that session, they talk about some of the other things we're working on to lower the total cost of ownership of HealthShare. And of course, if you have any specific feedback, I would love to hear it. I want to make sure that we're on the right track and actually tackling the biggest issues for you guys. So definitely feel free to connect with me. And does anyone have any specific questions? And thanks for using the mic for your questions. It's for the recording.
Yes. Thank you. What version of HealthShare is this available in?
It's a great question. So it won't be tied to a specific version of HealthShare. We're hoping to deploy this using the new InterSystems package manager. And hopefully both the new package manager and our tool will be available, we're hoping, by the end of this year. And yes, it should not be tied to a specific version of HealthShare.
So I know you said it was for HealthShare, but a lot of customers use Health Connect to convert SDA to Fire, so on and so forth. Is it possible to use it standalone at all, or does it have to be inside the HealthShare environment?
It does not need to be inside the HealthShare environment. It'll actually work or be installed on an Iris for Health instance. And I'm actually working with the data platforms product management team to make sure we're including, or they'll be including some additional capabilities for Health Connect customers. So if you want to validate against other standard schemas, et cetera.
Because up to now, they've basically been doing that somewhat blind, whereas in HealthShare, you could actually see all those mappings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yes,
thank
so
you.
should work with Iris for Health, Health Connect, or HealthShare.
Does that also include Ensemble as well?
Yes.
Nice.
Anything else? If not, you can always find me after.
Just a comment. I think this is a really great tool because we have a project right now bringing HL7 data into HealthShare, and like for the ADTs, the standard code wasn't recognizing like A16s or A, so we had to override that and cover that so that we don't get the errors. So we got rid of all the red indicators, and now it's working okay. But we still have the alerts, and a lot of those alerts we really don't care about. So we're just letting go through, but that's the way we're doing right now. So I was looking for something like this, and now it's coming. This is great. Thank you.
So happy to hear that. Yes, we know that this was needed like yesterday, but we are trying to get it out as soon as possible. Okay, thank you all very much, and thank you for coming to the conference and sticking around to the afternoon session on the last day. Appreciate it.